Hello everyone, welcome to the Autoimmune Dietitian YouTube channel. My name is Annie. I'm a registered dietitian and I work with people struggling with autoimmune diseases. In my work with my clients, I help them use food and lifestyle to improve their symptoms. So when we talk about nutrient density, it's actually a term to compare one food to another. You can say a food is nutrient dense, but there's no standard or definition for nutrient density. So today we are going to play the eat this versus that game. So let's get started. And before I jump in, I just need to attach my usual disclaimer to this video that the information in today's talk is not the substitute for the diagnosis, treatment, or care of disease by a medical provider. This is for informational purposes only. Please consult your qualified health professional for any changes you make to your medical care. Okay, so before we begin, it's important to understand how we compare the nutrient densities of foods. This used to be a pretty tedious task of looking up foods on different food databases and comparing the amounts of vitamins, minerals, and other compounds of different foods. Dr. Sarah Ballantyne has made our lives a whole lot easier with the Nutrivore score. This score measures the total amount of nutrients per calorie of food. And this was no easy task because many of the different food databases have incomplete data on nutrient profiles. So the Nutrivore score includes 32 primary nutrients plus one bonus nutrient that includes the highest value available for one additional nutrient. This bonus nutrient could be something like a glucosinolate, conjugated linoleic acid, taurine, betaine, and so forth. So now we have an unbiased calculation for nutrient density and can compare different foods with one easy metric. So for this discussion, I am using the publicly available Nutrivore scores listed on the Nutrivore website. If you want to go check those out, you can do so after you finish watching this video. All right, so let's kick it off by talking about leafy greens. Which leafy green is the best? So leafy greens are a fantastic vegetable that all tend to be nutrient dense because they are low in calories and high in nutrients. Eating leafy greens can actually protect against cancer, heart disease, and cognitive decline. Watercress is a leafy green that is part of the mustard family, and it's also one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. It has a Nutrivore score of 6,929. Alternatively, rainbow chard is another super nutrient-dense leafy green that is great to use in salads or as lettuce for wraps. The lowest nutrient-dense leafy green is iceberg lettuce at 773, which is actually pretty nutrient dense. So no, iceberg lettuce is not just like eating water. You can still get a handful of nutrients from eating it. All right, what beverages give us nutrients? Beverages always get a really bad reputation for being high in calories and void of nutrients, but here's a plot twist. Brewed coffee is actually the most nutrient-dense foods out there. It has a Nutrivore score of 7,036 because it is very low in calories and very high in polyphenols, vitamin B, and vitamin B2, and vitamin B7. Espresso, which is personally my favorite, is slightly lower at 2,304. Decaffeinated coffee is also the lowest of the coffee drinks at 1,826. Other nutrient-dense drinks include black and green tea, as well as oolong tea. The lowest unprocessed nutrient-dense beverages are dairy-based products, including whole milk, which has a Nutrivore score of 202, and sheep milk, which has a Nutrivore score of 210. What about grains and pseudograins? So I know grains are a bit controversial for this community, but they can offer a handful of really important nutrients and protection from chronic illnesses like heart disease and all-cause mortality. Quinoa is one of the most nutrient-dense pseudograins listed on the Nutrivore website at the Nutrivore score of 227. It's an excellent source of copper, magnesium, folate, and vitamin E. Oats are a close second at 208. Brown rice and wild rice both have Nutrivore scores of 154. White rice is the lowest of the grains listed with a Nutrivore score of 66. However, it still contains a good amount of manganese and resistant starch. So even though something might be low nutrient density, it still will have some valuable properties, or most foods will at least. Okay, so what about fruit? I don't know when fruit started getting a bad reputation, but I love fruit. It has numerous health benefits and some very high nutrient dense foods as well. Tomato, which is actually the highest, and it is a fruit. It has a Nutrivore score of 983. Strawberries and blackberries are next, both of which have high levels of vitamin C and polyphenols. Papaya is also very nutrient dense, as are Asian pears. Surprisingly, regular pears are one of the lowest nutrient dense fruits, but they also contain ample amounts of fiber and polyphenols. What proteins are highest in nutrients? So as far as protein goes, I bet you can guess it. The most nutrient dense choice is our favorite, beef liver, with a Nutrivore score of 4,021. If a fall isn't your thing, and it's definitely not my thing, your next best option is wild eastern oysters at 3,049. For something a little bit more mainstream, king mackerel has a Nutrivore score of 1,242. The most nutrient-dense legume is lentils with a Nutrivore score of 489. Want to know what the lowest nutrient-dense protein is? Hot dogs. Bacon is a close second to last place, unfortunately. So this was just a fun game of what are some of the most nutrient-dense foods in each different category. If you are interested in learning more about nutrient density and how to eat a nutrient-dense diet, I have lots of information on my blog, as well as checking out the Nutrivore website. Dr. Sarah Ballantyne also has a book out that goes into a lot more detail about it. So if you're really interested in that, I would go check out the book as well. For those of you who have digestive issues, autoimmune diseases that don't feel like they're under control, and you're interested in looking at using food as a way to better manage your symptoms, please reach out to me. I love helping people feel better by just changing what they eat and how they live. So if you go to my YouTube profile, there is a link there to book a free discovery call. The call is free. While you're there, you can also check out my website, AnnieRubin.com. I've got lots of great information in my blog. I have some free downloadable guides that you can download, and there's a bunch of other stuff on there. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching. If you do not subscribe to my channel, please hit the little subscribe button. I do try to be consistent about putting these videos out, although sometimes I do get a little behind. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.